Hey folks, I'm Aspen Arrow, and today we are back in Rimworld. Unlike our last series, this will not be edited and a story. It will be a tutorial. Learn how to play, if you will. So I have pulled off all my mods, which was to say like 4 of them, and all of the DLCs. This is base game. I have reset the learning helper, and we're going to click the tutorial button here in a minute. First up, I did want to show you something. If you come into options and interface, you can choose your UI scale, you can change your temperature, you can choose if the weapons are shown underneath your pawn's portraits. I personally like always, but you can have one drafted or never. You can choose how you highlight your characters. You can choose silhouettes or dots. You can hide the hats. You can have visible mood. So stuff that might be a little hidden or used to be a mod, but is now base game. All here if you need it. So for the first time in many years, I'm going to click this tutorial button. It says, welcome to Rimworld. This page configures how your world should be generated. The default settings here are good. Go ahead and click generate. So let's follow our instructions. See, nothing extra, just the core game. And here it says, choose your starting site. Click a temperate forest or light green with no brown hills, then click next. Optionally, you can use the terrain tab to view information about the selected tile. So we're going to come back through and do a better job of picking our tiles and where we're going to be, because we're going to go through this tutorial and then I'm going to do it and do a start without the tutorial and see what the differences are. So they just want us to pick a temperate forest flat map. Perfect. Just for some extra flavor, let's grab this one. And again, we're going to spend more time picking out characters later, but right now they're telling us you can choose what characters. I don't know why it moves when I go to highlight it. Drag a character from the left behind part of the character list to the top into the drag a character from the left behind part of the character list at the bottom into the selected part at the top. Optionally, clicking a character will allow you to inspect them. We have Min, Four Eyes, Raven, and see. So you can see they come with a title, name, all this stuff. This person has Alzheimer's. This person is beautiful and sad. This person wants to light shit on fire and kill things. This one's also wants to light. Wow, we have all the pyromaniacs. That's funny. So we just kind of want to whiz through and see what the tutorial is going to teach us. Doesn't really matter what we're picking here, but we can then hit randomize. There we go. We got a slowpoke wimp that's too smart. That's great. Reorder and randomize more if you want, but don't try to get the perfect characters. Everyone has flaws and it makes the story more interesting. We want to rename someone again. So if you wanted to change so that the names match, there you go. And just click start. Easy peasy. It says the three of you awake in your cryo sleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown Rimworld. As pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. And here we are on the surface. You can move with WASD, as is tradition. You can also zoom in and out. And we can pause with the space bar and unpause and pause again. You can speed up time with 1, 2, or 3. You can also just come down and click. All right. Says, great, now make a stockpile so your colonists know where to keep items. Click Architect, Zone, Stockpile, and then you just drag to match the shape. Right-click to get out of the designation. To allow your colonists to bring items to the stockpile, you must remove the item's forbidden designation. That is, see the little X's on them? Means forbidden. If you change this, it's now allowed. If you want to change a bunch of the same things, you can double click and allow. And if you want to just say, hey, I don't want to do all this, you can come and right click and click unforbid all items. There we go. They can start hauling. Go ahead and push play and let them do that. Now the game would like us to build some walls, which would not be my priority, but that's okay. We're going to follow along. Wants me to. And it wants me to place a door. There we go. It also wants me to place some beds. And a torch. Wow, so fancy. And an animal sleeping spot. And a horseshoe pin. Excellent. And while that's being built, wants us to put a growing zone and grow some rice. Have them equip weapons. I don't know who needed what, so we're just gonna tell them all to equip. Be a knife. There it is. And this is just grabbing. You can hold your left and highlight, click them. You can click their portraits, and then just right click on what you want them to do. All right, it says now we need a stove. You can rotate with Q and E. Colonists need to be told what to cook. Cooking orders are added to the stove itself. Once a bill has been created, colonists will do the work automatically. So just to speed this along, we can grab Raven here, right click, and tell her to get work on that stove. And we'll go ahead and speed this up. Select this, add a bill, and it says cook simple meal. And for now, again, just do what it says. Click the button a bunch. Now it wants us to mine. So there we go. And it wants us to chop some wood. Open the work tab. So this can be where you can really start controlling what your colonists do. So it says you can control who does what kinds of work using the checkboxes. Colonists will do tasks in order from left to right. Try changing some of the settings now. Beware, colonists will always follow their work priorities, even if it makes them do dumb things. Set up a smart work regime is an important skill in Rimworld. The first smart thing, I pull off their, you could just do it this way and say, hey, I don't want you to cook. But I'm going to go ahead and change up some stuff and say, hey, please firefight. And since we really just want to get construction done, I'm going to tell everyone to construct by putting it on a 1. Alternately, you can shift click or shift right click to move the whole thing. You can also organize by clicking on it. Get to who can do what, which is more helpful when you have much more colonists. All right. It also would now like us to build a simple research bench and pick some research. We will pick batteries. And next you'll learn how to expand the home area. Colonists will clean floors and extinguish fires in the home area only, and it ignores fires or filth outside of it. Your home area is automatic when you build things. You can also expand it manually. So we want to click the expand home area tool. Architect, zone, expand home. You can see it's given us this very large zone. And now I'd like us to build a roof. They will automatically build here. You don't need to tell them to, but if you want roofs outside or if you're putting some columns, that's what you do. That's great. Now you've got the basics of colony running. Eventually, enemies will raid your colony. It's time to prepare for that. So select the sandbags and build them in this little setup they got here. And let's just wait for all your construction to be built. Consider using work tab to assign more. You can also speed up time. Okay. Raven, what are you doing? See, they do have to cut down the trees in order to build the roof. Might be helpful to see. So LaRussa here is better at plant cutting. I'll set her to a 1 to hopefully help out. Hey, you, come harvest that. And it's not letting me reprioritize, so it is what it is. We're getting there. I'm gonna bet, yeah. It won't let me do anything. Getting there, man. Doing it. You can see that even though men doesn't have plants incapable of, they will still cut down the tree if there needs to be a roof. All right, good enough. Go build. Go build. LaRussa, what are you doing? You go help too. And if you want somebody to do more than one thing, you can hold shift and right click and tell them to do a bunch of them. You don't need to milk the cow. Like, just go build, please. And please get up. All right. Okay. I've now sent a raid to attack your colony. Pause the game by hitting space. Read the red letter in the bottom right of the screen. So a group of pirates from the Frogs of Triumph have arrived nearby. They are attacking immediately. Draft your colonist. So I'm just going to grab everybody. Draft. You can see the hotkey would be R. I'm very bad at using hotkeys, so you're going to see a lot of mouse. Right click and send them. So one thing you do is you can move them around. So I am holding my right mouse key and just dragging them. So just do that, hit play. As it says, colonists must be touching cover to benefit from it. Once you're in cover, wait for the attacker to approach. Your colonist will shoot automatically. Where is our attacker today? Ah, we have Price here. Coming with a 90-year-old man with a club. Hearing loss and cataracts. All right. Well, good luck, Price. He's moving pretty quick, honestly. Sometimes the older pawns are really slow. Okay, we are now shooting. Put our melee blocker in. That's success. Now undraft all your colonists using the same command as before. And this is the end of the tutorial. There's still tons more to learn, including prisoners, hunting, trading, animal taming, and much more, but you've got the basics. Random incidents were disabled during this tutorial. To begin the real game, click Menu, Options, Gameplay, Modify. And here you would now be able to take over and pick who you wanted to play against and your difficulty. And you can do this at any point in the game. It's not just the tutorial. If you decide, hey, Phoebe seems like she's really chill and I'm going to start on peaceful to learn the game, and it's too easy, or you're feeling like you've got a good handle, you can always feel like, hey, I'm going to come up and do custom difficulty on random, on Randy Random, and I'm going to go up to 500% because why not? I'm just feeling really spicy today. Right? So instead of doing that, we're going to leave Learning Helper on. Oh, you can see he's getting away. We are going to leave the Learning Helper on, but we're going to actually abandon this colony. So we are going to go back to the main menu. That's fine. We're not worried about saving. And we're going to just start our own and see how I might set things up a little differently than the tutorial while leaving the learning helper on. So we're just going to do standard crash landed. We will do Cassandra. I believe adventure story is kind of the default. Obviously, pick whichever one you feel is best. And I'm going to pick reload anytime because we're not here to play permadeath today. We're just here to... And we can name our seed. You can click random. We'll just do Aspen. You can pick how much of the globe you want covered. So a standard generation is 30%, which is what we saw in the tutorial. 50% is a little bit more. 100% will take a really long time. And probably if you're looking for a really specific type of map, might be worth it. But otherwise, I don't think it's probably something most people use. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if you use it. Rainfall, you control. We can have a dry, dusty planet or a wet, forested planet. You can change the temperature. You can change how many people live here. So one of the things I like to bump up is just to bump up how much population there is, so we have more people to trade with. And the base game comes with these factions. You can add more. If I wanted another Outlander Union, good. If I didn't want to play with one of these, I don't have to. If you don't like bugs, turn them off. If mechs are driving you crazy, turn them off. If you really, really, really just don't like those pirates, turn them off. It's all about what you want to play. You don't have to play with these So I'm going to leave it default. So we see everything. But if there's something that's driving you crazy or you want more of, go for it. These two are limited to one, but you can have as many pirates and as many gentle tribes as you want. And here we go. You can see we have a little more population now. And we now have the option to choose advanced. You can choose what starting season. So let's say you had decided to go all the way cold, all the way rainy. So you had this cold, snowy planet. You're playing Hoth. Well, you could pick to start in winter and see if you could survive. You could pick to start in summer and hope you got enough food before winter. It's really whatever you want to do. You can also change your map size. I'm just going to do the slightly bigger than usual medium, the 275, 275. You can do a large map, but it obviously does provide a warning that it can mess with the AI. So, and then if you didn't know what you wanted to pick, you could certainly hit this random button and end up in a desert. But as the tutorial said, let's just pick a temperate forest map. And let's try and pick by some trading partners. You can see in our factions, this person's neutral, we can trade with them. This person has a number value, so if we ally with them, we can trade with them. We can trade with yellow, we could trade with green, but we will never be able to trade with the red or pirate. So the Savage Tribe and the Pirate Gangs, no trading. These you can trade with, so you can decide, hey, do I want to live by those people or not? It does not impact your race. So you can come down and live on this island all by yourself, and you will still get raids. So let's find purple and blue is probably my preference. What are you? Now I want to see. This is a year-round growing with small hills, a creek, some granite, sandstone, and slate. Fine, what I'm looking for is marble. There we go. So this is a large hill with limestone and marble that we can grow in year-round, so we don't have to worry about a growing season. If we had a growing season, you would see it. So we'll come up here to Cold Bog. You can see we would only be able to grow 20 out of 60. And if we come up to Tundra, we would still 20 out of 60. If you go up further, 10 out of 60. So that is a good number to pay attention to. So let's come back down here. And which one was it? Oh goodness, no, I can't find it. There we go. We'll just do this one. Limestone marble is fine for today. Marble's nice to have. because it is a beautiful stone, so it helps with art. The other stones all have pros and cons. We'll worry about that later. Now we want to actually pick some pawns to play this with. So what I want to find is someone who doesn't have any particular health issues and who isn't incapable of anything unless they might have a really good trait I want. So I don't love Sophia. This is an okay pawn. A sickly is not great. Night owl is kind of whatever. Chemical interest, yeah. So I don't want this person. They're incapable of violence. So if someone attacks them or they get bit by an animal, they just won't fight back. And that can be really hard to deal with. We have Lou, who is a beautiful quick sleeper. No. Cormond's also, okay. I don't like any of these pawns. So we're gonna re-roll. And there are mods that make this faster. Such as Prepare Carefully and Random Plus. So we're just clicking through, and I may be clicking a bit too fast. A super immune brawler, that's interesting. But not very good skills. And keep rolling. And this part can take a while. I mean, as the game said, we're not trying to find anyone perfect. I just don't want really bad health. Quick sleeper, trigger happy seems okay. They can do animals, they can do social, they can shoot, they can do plants, mining, construction. So they can't cook or firefight. I don't love not being able to firefight, but we'll go ahead and leave that one for now. This one's not bad, and I don't want to spend all of my time here. So what we really need is a cook. Okay, so this is a cook. So, and a pretty good. So tough is really great. They get 50% damage incoming. Sanguine, kind. So they'll be happy. They'll make other people happy. They can do plants and cooking. That's awesome. Their husband, Jesse. We could go ahead and start with a married couple, I suppose. Craft, art, and intellectual. Won't do medical, social, or hauling. I hate not doing hauling either. And gourmand means they eat more food. They're also lazy, so they're not going to do as much. So they'll walk very fast, but they're not going to do anything. I don't love sickly either. You know what? What the heck? Just for the story, we will go ahead and take our married couple. So that is Crawford. Yes, Crawford and Viscu. And this is... Dustin is Crawford's dad. So we got a weird family thing going on here. But we can do everything. We have no really good medical, which is going to be terrible. But that's... So that we have nobody who can do medical is really bad. So this seemed like it was going to be an okay setup. But really... I don't need art. I need medical. So we are going to re-roll this person. Nudist. Gourmand. Cooking, plants, animals, crafting, art mode. So. And then this is, who was your husband? Mikhail, who is also a gourmand. So many gourmands. Also don't love this. All right. Don't want the extra food. I can't do it. And this part takes a while, and so I will try to speed this along. No. No. Undergrounder is gonna get really upset though. Great memory, quick sleeper, misogynist. So not gonna like anybody very much. They got okay medical, they're social, they're intellectual. All right, we're gonna call this good enough. And you can see we got shooting, we can construct, we can mine, we can cook, we've got plants, medical. It's not the best, and you can't maybe always get the best, but without sitting here rolling forever, this is what we're gonna go with. So we have Shadow Crawford and Duster. And same as before. Oh, almost landed right in the mountain. And we're gonna hit pause. Gonna give us alerts up here that we'll try and give some context as we go. So first things first, I want to turn on this overlay here. It's gonna show me where I have fertile ground. And that is this dark or bright green. You can see there's quite a bit of it, but a lot of it's on the edge of the map. And that can be dangerous because if a raid spawns here, they're already in your base. You want to consider, what can I defend? What could I do to protect myself? You also want to consider where these steam geysers are, which you can search. So we can search and see, so we want to search for steam. And we can see where they all are. You see we have two up here, which would be really nice if it wasn't on the edge of the map. We've got one kind of here in this little valley. Fairly defensible. This would be fairly defensible. Got another one down here, a little close to the edge of the map. But I think what catches my eye is this looks like only one way in. And there is a geothermal here. There are other options for power, so it's not the end of the world. We don't use geothermal. I also think I might have accidentally left it as winter. So we may have some extra issues because I was clicking on things. That'll be funny. That might change up a few things we do, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and get a growing zone set up because that's my first priority. Except that it's winter, so I don't think it's good. Oh no, we're year round. That's right. So we're fine. So I'm just going to get some rice planted. I'll go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to set a stockpile zone over here because I want them to start hauling everything over here. And I'm going to set a dumping pile to put stone blocks and corpses. Learning Helper says, shelves store 3 times as much as empty ground. Items on shelves will never deteriorate and don't affect beauty of their surroundings. And we can change what is in our stockpiles and storage by clicking on the storage tab. We'll learn about that. So storage, lots of options. We'll mess with this later. Same thing, dumping stockpile, which is by default chunks and corpses. I also now want to go in and change up my priorities. So as before, I'm going to shift click to firefight 1. Patient 1, except for my doctor, who I want to be patient 2nd. Bed rest, we're not worried about. Basic, we want up. We have no prisoners, so we don't need a warden. Looks like we do have 1 animal, so we'll decide that in a minute. Crawford is our cook, and it looks like our planter. All right, so cooking, growing. We don't need anyone to hunt. Do you want someone to construct? Mining is fine. Don't need to worry about tailoring or crafting right now. So this person can do handling. They don't have much else to do. And when they're done handling, they can haul and clean. Then everyone can research. And actually, you can help with plants as well. And that'll do for now. And it looks like we got a fox named Beta. That is our pet today. All right. Next up, I want to come up and go to my orders and claim. It's important to claim this little ruin that I'm going to use to build in because otherwise raiders can open the door. It'll also tell my pawns to start repairing this. So I'm going to get rid of the walls that I don't need. And I am going to... Normally, yeah, let's go ahead. We don't have any steel yet. They just haven't hauled it over. Oh, I should tell them that they can have all these. So again, we're going to come into orders, right click, allow all. And we can go ahead and tell people to equip stuff. So Duster can shoot, Crawford is shoot. Everyone can shoot. So Shadow appears to be our best shooter. And I guess, was one tough? Were you tough, Crawford? Yeah, so even though Crawford doesn't have great melee, they can take some hits. And then I'm going to shift click to tell Duster to go ahead and put on the flak. And Crawford, or sorry, Shadow and Crawford can go ahead and wear these pants. You slid too far. And for now, we're just going to toss down some sleeping spots. They won't love it, but that's okay. And in Rimworld, steel is flammable. As is wood, which can create some problems. We're going to go ahead and use it for today, but we'll want to get everything switched to stone. For right now, we just want somewhere they can sleep with a roof over their heads. So I'm just going to do this. And that should be good enough. They also get upset if they don't have a table. I'm going to give them a table, a couple of stools, and what the heck? Ooh, the wall lamps are new. Let's give them some beautiful wall torches. There we go. And you can see everyone doing their stuff. Duster is constructing, Crawford is planting. And so while they're doing all that, I want to come to the home zone, and I actually want to turn this automatic extension off. Because when something's in the home zone, it means they're going to try and clean all of this. Yes, it designates where they will fight fires, but it also means they're going to try and clean it all. I don't need them cleaning the outdoors. So I'd rather manually choose just clean the inside, and when there is a fire, I can grab the same menu and put a block over it, tell them to go fight the fire, get rid of it. This saves a lot of time, so this might be one of the things where you're like, why are my pawns never doing what I want them? They may be trying to clean the outdoors. You can see that home zone extension was really big. So I turned this off. The other thing I want to do is I don't always want to use the home zone to tell my pawns where to be. The home zone is more for me to say, hey, this is what I want cleaned, repaired, or where to fight a fire. I want another zone that's inside that tells my pawns, hey, get inside. And then I want another zone that says, hey, stay nearby. Don't go too far away right now. Maybe I know there's a raid coming because they're preparing over here, so I still want to farm or do work, but I don't want them running over to the edge of the map or trying to pick up something. And I can also just say, hey, animal, why don't you stay over here? And you can see we're now getting that recreation that they told us to put the horseshoe pin down for. But if we look at Crawford here, their recreation's going up. They're fine right now. They're in fact cloud watching, which they're getting recreation from. So we'll toss down these other things, but they're not that important right now. So we'll go ahead and speed up time and let them get working. Designate these plants inside for Crawford to hope. In fact, we're going to cancel these so that Crawford goes and takes care of the other ones. And then I don't want trees in front of the door, so I will get rid of those as well. Crawford, why don't you go clean that up for me? All right, and right as the rain starts to come down, they have an enclosed shelter. Probably not very happy about it. It's unsightly. They're gonna have disturbed sleep, but for now, they get this big boost to their mood. So it'll make do. This is something that's pretty dangerous in Rimworld. Pawns have a tendency to leave stuff indoors. And so we actually don't want that. Doors can be a big fail point. And so I'm gonna tell them to move that. Other thing is, I actually don't want some of my stuff that's going to deteriorate outside. So now that I've got stuff set up, I'm going to set a preferred zone. I'm going to clear all, because right now I just want a few things in our little space. I want our medicine. I want our food. Those. I want any components. I want our silver so it can't be stolen if we're raided. You can see steel doesn't deteriorate, blocks don't, silver doesn't, but our wood is going to slowly deteriorate outside as are our meal. We should be fine today, but rain speeds this up, and so our medicine is already down 4 points. So you can see it looks like Duster didn't equip his revolver, so I'm actually going to tell him to equip that revolver and haul the medicine back. And components are really valuable, so I want to haul those in, and I want Shadow to go haul that medicine. And you can see because he's sleeping, he's not getting up. And part of that could be that his schedule is that he's scheduled to sleep. So, I can change this to anything. Get a little lesson here. I'm going to say, hey, why don't you recreate before you go to bed? And I guess we'll just deal with the fact that they're sleeping. I could draft and just pull them all the way out. Okay, alright, go haul that medicine. And go haul that component. Alright, Learning Helper says, you can forbid doors so colonists and tame animals won't go through them. Note that that isn't a door lock. Doors are always locked, so enemies can't pass freely. Forbidding just directs your colonists not to use that door. Colonists who are going crazy might use the door anyway. So you can grab the door and say, don't allow. Or you can say, hey, hold this door open. Problem with this is that your allies, the people who come to trade with you, and their animals will frequently ignore this. So they'll actually come in and they could let manhunters in, they could let a raid in, maybe you're blocking here and you told your pawn, hey, don't go out because I don't want to fight these manhunters. But there's a trader here and they just open your door. So you do need to be aware that this only applies to your pawns. The doors, again, big fail point in Rimworld, and we'll see what we can figure out to take care of those. Oh, I didn't want you to put that there. Please hold that where I told you to. You not set this as preferred? You did. They'll take it there. Every once in a while, these zones don't work quite as you want them to. Oh, hey, that happens. There we go. I think that's about good for an intro episode. We're starting into day 2. We have our little hut. We have some food growing. We're getting all those supplies over. We'll learn more about positioning fighters next time. But we saw the tutorial and we saw what they prioritized. And it's not that I didn't prioritize the same things. I think I just do it in a little different order. So you can see I don't have beds. I don't have sandbags. I'm not worried about it. In part because, you know what? These chunks, 50% cover. This tree, 55%. But these chunks, I could come stand behind these if I really had to. And they're all over. Or I can stand behind my door and melee block. And so we'll look at that as things happen and we start to get raids. If you did enjoy this tutorial today, please do leave a like or a comment. Let me know what might help you learn how to play Rimworld. As always, have a pleasant day, and I'll see you next time.